Hey guys, from coffee karaoke to headlining her own tour, Alexandra Kay has become a force in the country music scene. Her debut album, All I've Ever Known, came out right after her divorce, giving a raw, emotional insight into the pain and betrayal she was going through. But Second Wind is her chance to look back on the story in 3 parts. Act 1 goes back to the very end of their marriage, that in-between state where she's not quite ready to move on, but they've built up too much resentment to stay together. Act 2 takes place after the breakup, where she's reconciling with all the emotions in the aftermath. And Act 3 represents her recovery, making it out the other side, and hopefully even finding someone new.
I know we made a promise. In sickness and in health.
For as much as I love the album, it does start with a bit of a low point in the form of Better Off. I'll admit, I'm not really giving the song a fair shot. On an album with such great songs, it's hard to compete. And the wordplay, specifically revolving around wedding vows, has grown on me. But when it's followed by 2 of my favorites on the whole album, it's just not the banger of an opener I want it to be.
I'd rather go to my grave. I'd rather go up in smoke.
On the other side of that coin, I am obsessed with Nobody. I talked about it in a weekly review, and I said the same thing there. I'm usually drawn to intriguing lyrics and wordplay, but the instrumentation and Alexandra's voice, especially in the chorus, is just hypnotizing. It fits the resentment theme as she's looking ahead to a life without him and saying she wouldn't really want anyone else. But it's also a fantastic showcase of her vocal range and a really interesting contrast between the dark lyrics and the high energy positive tone.
Yeah, if you pull the trigger and straight for the heart.
When I got to see Alexandra perform live, this was a song she said would be her first #1 on country radio, and I absolutely see why. Straight for the Heart is all about this complicated resentment stage at the end of a relationship where neither side is willing to fully break it off. Drawing it out or leaving it unclear only makes it worse, so she's begging him to just get it over with. Rip off the band-aid so they can both start with their own healing process.
Deep down, what cuts me like a knife is under all this pride, knowing you.
Right Now is a song that most exemplifies the theme of Act 1. It takes place in the moments just after the breakup, where she knows she should be out on the town distracting herself to numb the pain, but she can't help slipping back, reaching for the phone, and instinctively wanting to call him again. I always think of Human Diary by Danielle Bradbury for this, but the worst part of a breakup is rarely the actual pain of losing them. It's the fact that in those moments of hurt and vulnerability, the person you used to lean on is the one person you can't anymore.
We got tomorrow problems. Pull me a dog.
Tomorrow Problems is like an intermission between Acts 1 and 2, representing the time she takes for herself, drinking out with friends, and just generally forgetting her problems for a bit. But even more than the narrative shift, it's a tonal shift, separating the conflicted nature of the first act with a more directly emotional second.
Are you two stepping around the truth of it? Whiskey's boots.
I might be crazy for this, but Big Boy Boots feels kind of like a Sabrina Carpenter country song. Obviously, she and Alexandra both write plenty about men who cheat and don't live up to expectations, but something about the innuendos mixed with the talk singing just feels very Sabrina. Like, tell me this line couldn't be in a Sabrina Carpenter song.
I thought you were a man, but you're just a little guy.
I don't know, let me know in the comments if I'm crazy or if I'm onto something. Either way, it's a super fun song, retroactively about her frustration and all the ways he came up short.
There's a reason I'm going through hell, right? A reason for all of
Hellright represents the other side of her reconciliation emotions. Where Big Boy Boots was her anger, venting all her frustrations about the things he didn't do right, Hellright is a simple prayer, asking God to help her get through, and wanting assurance that it's all part of his plan. When Blake Shelton's Hellright came out years ago, I always thought it was kind of weird, because Hellright isn't a regular part of my vocabulary, but Alexandra's version works with or without context of the phrase. The tone and lyrics both perfectly contradict the confidence and assurance that the phrase usually implies, which serves to bring a whole nother level of depth to the song and the album as a whole.
Can you count on his heart to stay in your arms and do what he says to do?
I originally wanted to dislike this song on principle because I don't love songs that emphasize gender roles and criticize people for not fitting them, but when you actually listen, Measure of a Man is about breaking away from those stereotypes, both good and bad. She says it's easy to find a man who can build a house or pay for a drink, but what really matters are the personal things. Does he put her first? Will he be there when she needs him most? And those are the things that actually matter when trying to find the right person.
You're in love with the old me. You don't even know me now.
Where Big Boy Boots felt like a Sabrina Carpenter ghostwrite, this one feels like Kelsey Ballerini. If you know this channel, you know that's about the highest compliment I can give. Old Me is about how we all change constantly and how major life changes can put strain on a relationship. And it's hard because you always want to encourage someone to grow and change, following their dreams to become the best version of themselves. But it adds a whole new level of tragic irony when you help each other grow just to grow further apart.
It's a party show. Love's a rodeo. You're lucky.
Another intermission, Cupid's a Cowgirl marks the point of finding love again, and the whole roller coaster of emotions that comes with it. The rest of the album focuses more on reflecting, so this is a moment to revel in the excitement of a new start. And I can confirm, at her live shows, when the whole crowd is shouting the numbers in the pre-chorus and the bridge, it's absolutely electric.
Be the last thing on my mind every night when I close my eyes. Be the last.
There are a million songs about a first love, a first kiss, and all the excitement that comes with every first in your life, but this is the flip side of that, praising the stability and unsung heroism of the person that vows to be the last. They're the one to pick up the pieces of all your mistakes up to that point, and ideally, they're the ones to make sure it never happens again. I've reviewed this one as well, so I won't go too far into it, but The Last isn't just one of my favorites on the album, it's one of my favorite love songs of all time.
If you did what he does.
What he does is kind of the culmination of the whole album. She's finally found someone who treats her right and understands the importance of the little things. And she's looking back on her divorce, wondering why they had all the problems they did when her new boyfriend makes it look so easy. It's kind of a weird song because she clarifies she wouldn't take him back at this point, even if he did make those changes. She's just wondering how different it would have been if she didn't have those reasons to leave in the first place.
You got me feeling my feminine energy.
Kind of like Measure of a Man, I was a little weary about feminine energy because of the specifically gendered phrasing. Buying a dress just because she likes the way he looks at her, among other examples. But the difference is, it's not that she wants to feel powerless and be swept away by the man who came to save her. It's about leaning into her own confidence and how having him in her life has brought out the best sides of her. And ironically, the real message is actually the opposite of what I thought originally. Saying she's still her own woman, but now she's confident enough to accept his support without losing her own independence.
Now I'm floating like a feather, changing with the weather, riding on a
Where What He Does was the summer of the album, Second Wind is a culmination of her recovery and where she goes from here. It's a love song to her new boyfriend, and then the theme of the rest of the album is thanking him for helping her pick up the pieces and letting her become her best self. Saying how some people get to get it right the first time, but more often you have to struggle and fall in order to get back up and find your second wind. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far and haven't listened to the album, what are you still doing here? Go and listen to it now. Alexandra has always impressed me with her music, and I'm so glad she's finally getting the recognition she deserves. Let me know in the comments which song off the album was your favorite, and have a great day.
storm blue.